bienvenidos a una entrevista más de The Dead Show. Hoy tenemos como invitado al vocalista de Caligula Horse, Mr. Gingrey. How are you, sir? How you feel?
Hello.
Morning from Chile.
Yes, good morning to you. I imagine it's pretty early right now.
Oh, yes, it's 7:30. So, yes, it's
Yuck.
kind of early.
I'm sorry about that. It's like,
It's
what
okay.
time is it here? It's like 9:30 p.m. I'm having a wonderful
What?
time. This is
Oh my God.
the time of day that suits me well. I'm happy
It's
here.
okay.
So thank you for working around me and my needs.
No, it's okay, sir. It's a pleasure anyway. So it's still early. I mean, not so early. So, sir, welcome. It's been a long time, almost 3 years, since your first time here in Chile with the band. I believe
I think
2019, right?
I think it was like 4 years. Yeah, so 2019. And I think the show is going to be almost 4 years to the day.
September
Almost.
also.
Yeah.
Yes, September also. So, in those years, I mean, you have a new record on your backs, Rise Radiant, right? It's your 5th
Mhm.
record, your studio record. So, how do you feel about the evolution in the band between those years? I mean, do you feel another band completely? I mean, a whole move different since the last time?
Oh, excuse me.
It's okay,
Tea is
it's okay.
making me burp, dude. It's got ginger in it. I'm just burping tea right now. It's so good though. I'll tell you
I
what.
feel
It's
it. I feel it. I know,
even
I know.
better the second time. Yes, we've definitely changed a lot, a great deal. As have we all, I imagine. I don't think anybody has walked away from this, sort of borderline extinction event, pandemic situation unchanged. I think we've all kind of. Like, all you have to do is look at memes and know that things have taken a turn for the absurd. I think that's basic. Like, that's basically where I'm at right now. But it's, you know, I personally hit this point where I thought that we'd lost everything, and I thought that I was dead for a while, and that was not a good place to be. And eventually, sort of, I managed to overcome that personally, but it was partly to do with the fact that, you know, the band was going to continue. We worked really hard to stay together and to. Support each other as friends and keep in contact and try to be creative together despite not wanting to be creative at all. I want to highlight that it's like during 2020, 2021, there was all this stuff out there. Just like, can't wait to see what this artist comes up with during this. This is going to be great. And it's like, dude, I'm in lockdown too. You're on your couch. I'm on mine. We both hate ourselves. And what am I supposed to do? Like, so anyway, it's been a journey. We're all very different. We've come out the other side okay. And I think that's what's important.
So I believe that comes with another question. So you said that, of course, it was difficult for everybody. Everybody was in lockdown, right? So for you, you said you was trying to keep your band together. I mean, you know, keeping in touch together. So when you recorded the record, Rise Radio, everything was set already before the whole pandemic situation blew up. I mean, everything was on track.
Well, we were recording vocals last towards late 2019, and interestingly there was already like an event happening around that, in that there were the massive fires around Australia. There was, and I remember recording quite close to one of them, and it was you know, just bizarre to think about. And so yeah, we were actually, everything was on track, and Rise Radiant was released in May of 2020, so like dead on when things kicked off. And we were supposed to be playing in the US basically on the release of that. I remember there was going to be release day, and the first show was going to be in Chicago, and it was going to be, let's kick this thing off. But yeah, so we had to obviously shit can all of that, because there was no human way that was ever going to happen. So yeah, it was all done and written well and truly ahead of it. And what I found really interesting, kind of in hindsight, thinking about it, is that it's an album that's full of really positive themes about, you know, overcoming adversity and your legacy and your importance, your value, that kind of stuff. And even down to the cover that we chose at the end with Lindsay Ward from Exploring Birdsong doing Don't Give Up, you know what I mean? It's like all of the tone of this album was very much as though we were kind of preparing for something like this, which of course we weren't. But yeah, weird coincidence.
Well, a nice coincidence. I mean, and I was about to say that, first of all, congratulations for the band, for the album. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I realized that Rise Radio, you have a heavier song, right? A heavier mood but each song has their own vibe. I don't know if you feel me, like their own tunes. And I was about to say that about the lyrics, something about inner strange, finds against the wall. I mean, is how you, I don't know if you have something like right behind when you're about to do the lyrics, to do the whole concept of the album, especially this one, because it's very positive, like you say. I mean, nobody know about what to happen. I mean, I'm talking about the pandemic, and this album came out, and it's like, dude, I mean, don't die, try to be with your family, everything is positive. I mean, be strong. So how you came to that concept? I mean, the band, I don't know if you write behind the lyrics.
Yeah, I write I write basically 100% of the lyrics now. But there's kind of a when we write together, the lyrics are kind of reflective of the music, so we do it at the same time, kind of thing. It grows together, and I think that the way that those positive tones come out is not that we go in with an idea. We're not going like, hey, we're going to go in here, we're going to write a song that goes like this. It's more we put frameworks around to establish limitations on what we're going to do. So it's like we'll have a big discussion at the beginning of an album and go, hey, what do we want out of this? Like, ultimately, what do we want to say? Like, where do we want to go with this? And those frameworks will go around. So, like, with Rise Radiant, one of them was that we were going to write shorter songs. That was the goal. And so there are a lot of kind of single-length songs on there. We did break the rule a little bit with Salt, Autumn, and The Ascent, but I'm still going to talk about that. Okay, but that's what I mean. So it's like those frameworks are there, and going like, if I find myself going down a really despondent path lyrically, I try and find a way to shape that or to color that with something lighter in order to balance it out, because that's a limitation that I've put around. I will say one thing though, with the new stuff that we've been working on, that hasn't been the case. It is very much reflective of what we've been through over the last few years, and so it's pretty dark. But yeah, I can't say anything more.
It's okay, but I mean, thank you, and thank you for that information. So I keep it for myself. So it's good. Okay, I mean, no worries.
Of course, this is a private conversation. This isn't being broadcast anywhere. There's no way that this is going to be reported.
I mean, not now. So, and that came with another question on me. Did you feel, seeing the first record, right, from Caligula Horse, the first record until now, each record for you has, well, even for me, has a different meaning, right? Each record, the fifth record. I mean, did you feel that Caligula Horse from moments in Caligula Horse for now? Do you feel any connection with the first album and this last album? Because if you feel me, the last Rise Radiant, right? When I say the heavier, I mean, sound, that kind of move, I'm feeling it in your first record. So I don't know if you have any connection or you took some ideas from that first record.
Well, it's kind of like all of because we're fundamentally the same individuals, it's kind of like all of the core influences and the things that we're sort of cooked with have made their way this journey with us from beginning to end. So it's not like they've gone away. What I will say is that it's like there's basically 2 years between each album. It's been a lot longer between these last two for obvious reasons. But even if you look back at yourself, particularly in your 20s, right? Because we were like, Sam and I were like 23, 24 when we were writing stuff from, he was writing stuff from Moments, and we wrote City House.
Another whole person.
And yeah, just like, I mean, I hate to say, because I don't want to diminish someone that's 22, 23, but they're babies. So it's like, it's like, I don't want to be that guy, because of course they're adults and they're, good people doing good fucking things, but they're very young. And so like, when you're through your 20s, if you look back at yourself 2 years ago, you are startlingly different as a person. And so like every 2 years that happened between those albums, there was a huge amount of difference in who we were as people, let alone, now. Wait, what year is it? Is it 2023? It's like we're talking 12, 13 years or something like that we've sort of been throwing ideas around together. So like, yeah, the original kind of influences that made us make music are still there, but like we've all changed and grown so much that it's hard to draw a straight line from the first album to now.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. When I was doing my research to do this interview, you say that it's like not let's say a miracle, but you say that being in a band right now, in the position, the privilege that you have right now, when you did this record, is, I mean, very particular. What I mean, you say that you did this record in 1 month straight, right, in the studio, doing the whole set. I mean, recording the songs, a whole month. And
well, I mean, I think it sort of took slightly longer than that with Rise Radio. But you're asking the wrong guy, because my memory is broken. I have holes in my brain. I'm like, if you picture like a pasta strainer, and my thoughts and hopes and dreams are the water running through that, and the pasta is just dumb shit. That's what my brain is.
Okay, yeah. Okay. It's okay. I mean, and beside that, I realized that you have a lot of music lessons from 9 years old, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Vocal. I mean, you have a lot of vocal lessons. So you have a lot of vocal influence from Tori Amos, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
She's a gem. My God, her music makes me cry. I want you to understand this, Luis. The other day I put something on. We were doing I have a small Discord community because I stream on Twitch, and I have this lovely group of people.
Oh, really? It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I go by the real Jim Gray, and you can check it out on. But no, so we have this little community, and sometimes we do listening parties just for a playlist or whatever. And we put a playlist together, and one of the songs that I chose was the song "Pretty Good Year" by Tori Amos, and I'm like, oh, cool, one of mine's playing, and it's on random. Yeah, play. And I just started crying, just immediately. I don't know what it is. I think it's the nature of how she plays piano, the kind of abstract nature of her lyrics, where her voice, kind of the shape that it forms over everything, and it is music to cry to, and so I do. That's what it is.
Okay. That's pretty cool. And besides her, do you have another influence for you? I mean, or for the band? I mean, as an artist or group?
Tori Amos for everybody, or
no. I mean, well, for you particularly. I mean, you have an influence that you say, this artist is in this album right now.
Right, interesting. Yeah, I think Jeff Buckley rears his head a few times for me, particularly, just because I feel like if you're kind of like a melodic and emotional rock singer of any genre, whether that's progressive metal or not, I feel like you've taken something from Jeff. He was an emotional trailblazer in terms of that, because his performance on Grace is just unmatched. And so I took a lot away from that. But there are lots of sneaky things that are usually in hindsight, where you go back and you listen to something and you go like, oh, I didn't realize that Matt Bellamy from Muse was such a big influence at that time. I didn't realize that at the time. I thought I was just writing music. But yeah, it's always in hindsight you start to pick these things up and you go like, oh wow, I was listening to Carnival a lot then. All right, yeah, oh, okay, that kind of thing. So I know that for Sam, one of the big ones, sort of, again, it's like it cooked in there for him in terms of not just the music itself, but how he approaches the writing of the music, and like his mission statement, I think comes a lot from Steely Dan, which you probably would have if you've been looking at stuff from the past from us as well, picked up, just because, again, I think their sentiment, like the nature of their belief system around music, has really helped to shape how Sam does, and that dude is an absolute unit.
That's pretty cool. That sounds a good way. So, for you as a Caligula horse, as a band, right? You have any memorable moment for the career of the band that you say, dude, it started from that point, the band go up? Any concert, any record?
Yeah, I think it was Bloom, really. But there was never like an explosion point. It was just kind of really gradual. But I felt a distinct change on Bloom, because a lot of people look back. It's funny hearing fans talk about their favorite Seahorse albums, because everyone has a different one. It's crazy, and they all have different reasons for it. Because of course we're all tiny little individual freaking monkeys in boots, and none of us know anything. So it's like we all have. So some people will say that The Tide, the Thief, and River's End, our second album, is their favorite Seahorse album of all time. And it always blows their mind when I tell them that we did the album launch for that album in like 2013 in a tiny venue of like 200 max And our set got cut short because one of the other bands went overtime. The place was only half capacity, and no one gave a shit. So like that album has sort of like, it was part of our growth, definitely. But like on release, no one cared. No one gave a shit. But from Bloom onwards, and partly because we, signed to Inside Out Music, and the platform and the support that we've had from them has been amazing. So it's like that gave us the privilege, really, of being exposed to more people. There was a definite kind of change in the air there when that album released.
Okay, nice. Now, once again, in my research, you say that Latin American fans are wild, and I quote, wild. Why you say that? Why you say the difference between audience? And I mean, it's not only you. A lot of people say, including Chile, that the fans are very wild. I mean, very passionate. Do you feel that different with other areas, maybe Europe or America, North America?
It is different everywhere. And I can use probably a couple of different countries as an example. Like, for example, in Sweden,
okay,
we were playing in Gothenburg, and I know that's not how that's pronounced. And that's fine for the purposes of this conversation. But I remember being on stage and just like staring at the audience, and I was jet lagged out of my mind. Just on stage, just in a dream state, singing away, performing, giving everything that we had, and just getting nothing. There was no physicality in the crowd. There was no chant or emotional response. It was just dead. And internally, I'm going, they hate me. They hate us. This is the end. And song ends, eruption of applause. They were fucking loving it, but they were loving it in their way, which was to bear witness and to really just take it in. And culturally, like, there's a lot of different places that take things in differently. I think that, like Australia, you get a combination of people that really want to just get drunk, get amongst it, get in the pit, go crazy. And also people that don't really want to show you what they're thinking about. So they're at the back doing these ones. Arms folded, chin stroking, that kind of thing. And you get a lot of that because we're afraid to express our feelings. And I think that's why it's really awesome when we go to Latin America in general, because people aren't afraid to express their feelings. They want to express their feelings. Yeah. Yes, they want you to know how much they love your music. They want you to know how they feel. And you can feel that on stage. That energy is palpable. And I think that it's kind of like generally understood in the industry that it's like Latin America is where you want to tour. It is where you're going to play your most fun shows. It's the place to be. So that, I am not exaggerating, and I don't say that to all the girls. This is why we are going there because we want to. Goddamn, this is what we're doing.
This is something original from the heart. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, look. So, what we can expect for the next show, September 6th, I believe, from Caligula Horse.
We're going to be playing a fair chunk of Rise Radiant, because that being the album that we're touring on this time, because again, we're pretending it didn't happen. We're pretending nothing happened. So it's going to be Rise Radiant heavy material, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. The other is basically we always try to put together a set that is the combination of fan favorites, things that we know people are going to love and they're going to be beautiful moments, and also things that we just adore playing ourselves, because of course we have to have fun too, because that's the reason that we do literally all of this. So we'll be playing some of our favorites and some fan favorites, as well as a bunch of Rise Radiant material.
Nice. So another question about rock music. Everybody right now is talking about rock music, right? These kind of, let's say, trending bands a lot, touring around the world. And here in Chile, it's a beautiful thing about prog music. Local bands, including international, right? Like, I don't know, Leprous, Caligula Horse, a lot of them. How do you see the prog music compared to the others? For example, prog music compared, I don't know, the thrash move, in America. People love thrash there. Yeah. How do you see that? Do you see that the prog music is getting, growing a lot?
It really depends, because it's like I very rarely get out. I very rarely get out, I should say. I like my world is very small, and so like my world is totally steeped in tea and progressive metal. So it's like I get the feeling like it's not just growing, it's also adapting. There seems to be some kind of really cool global kind of conversation going on musically, where everyone, of course, has, like I was saying about Sam and I, like everyone has their foundation of inspiration and influence. God damn, excuse these burps.
It's okay.
The influences that we start with, and then we go on this journey together and listen to each other. And I know for a fact it's kind of cool listening to bands like Haken, and particularly Leprous, and what they've taken, and like Agent Fresco, and hearing where the kind of Venn diagram of all of the artists that are out there right now start to cross over and kind of take influence from one another. That's really excites me. And again, I think that people are shying, like, they may have shied away from using the term prog in the past because it had stigma attached to it, that it was only technical music that had that.
Yes.
But I think if you look at a band like Sleep Token, for example, their entire shtick is that it's meant to be this emotional experience, right? It's meant to be this, like, you've taken on this journey that is really hypnotic, you know, with this emotional music. But they're using the progressive moniker on that. So obviously, I think the term prog has probably shed some of its stigma when it comes to that kind of thing. So I think that it's an ongoing kind of growing thing, and less shunned, less shameful now.
Yeah, because a lot of people, maybe they believe that prog music is about 10-minute songs, like, or maybe Dream Theater, like you say, like technical thing. And about Sleep Talking, it's like the new wave of prog, let's say like that. Like you say, it's like the actual concept to be progressive. And by the way, Haken is coming to Chile, so that's pretty cool. A lot of bands came.
Hell
for
yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And I know our time is about to end, so I don't know if you can say hi to Rock Alovena and all the Chilean fans. I don't know if you have any message for them.
I love you so much. Hello and greetings to all of our fans in Chile. We love you ever so gosh darn much. And we just can't wait to see you. The last time we played in Chile, it literally changed our lives. It was the highlight of my career personally, and I cannot wait to experience it again.